Hello everyone. So in today's assignment, we will be learning about a new concept. So this new concept is basically an assignment that is of electricity unit charges. First of all, let us go through this assignment, what actually it is and what does it mean. So we have to consider a situation below of the electricity unit charges. Now the input electric charges units by the user and calculate total electricity bill according to the given condition. So basically, we have to consider this situation below for the electricity unit charges, and we have to input the electric units. That is, only the electric units will be inputted by the user, and after that we have to calculate the total electricity bill that will be created or according to the given condition below. So what is this condition? So according to the given condition, for the first 50 units, 0.50 units will be charged. 0.50 rupees will be charged per unit. For the next 100 units, that is, firstly, whatever the unit will be, firstly, it will be calculated for first units, and then afterwards, the next 100 units will be calculated as 0.75 per unit. And next, again for next 100 units, it will be taken as 1.20 per unit. And for the unit above than 250, it will be taken as 1.50 per unit. Even after calculating all of these, I will just repeat it so that everyone will get it very clearly. For first 50 units, so for example, if we have 400 units, okay, if the electric unit inputted by the user is 400, let us assume. So in that 400, the first 50 units will be calculated as per this amount, that is 0.50. After, in 400, 50 units will be deducted, 50 units will be calculated as per this rule. Next 100 units from that remaining 350 units will be calculated for this according to this. Next 100, that is, we can say next 150 has been calculated now from that 400. Okay, now next 100 units will be calculated as per this unit. So we have 250 units calculated accordingly. Now for the unit above 250, for the next, if it is 250 again, then it will be calculated as 1.50. Okay, now after calculating everything, after calculating the units, an additional surcharge of 20% will be added to the bill. Okay, so this is basically the situation which has been given for the electricity unit charges. Let us now understand how logically it will work. So for now, let me take units first of all. I will be taking units. Let us assume the units is equal to 330. That is, the units which has been entered by the user is 330. For now, we don't know how it will work or not, but we only know that the units of electric charges, the number of units of electricity has been 330. Okay, we don't have calculated the bills, we have nothing up to now. So I will be just declaring a variable that is bill, so that it will just calculate the total amount of bill in that. How we are going to do that? Well, as we discussed right now, that if I will write that statement again, if the units is less than 50, as we have got, then bill will be calculated as whatever the units are into 50, right? So this condition will be applied only if the number of units is less than 50, right? Now the second scenario, we have been mentioned that if units is less than 150, why I have taken as 150, I will show you again. Because for the first 50 units we have been mentioned for this. For the next 100 units we have been mentioned. So if the number of units will be less than 150, then we can work with these two conditions, right? If the number of units is less than 150, from that 150, 50 units will be calculated according to this, and the next 100 units will be calculated according to this. I hope you got that. So I have written over here, if units is less than 50, then bill will be calculated as first 50 units will be calculated 0.50 as per our given condition, plus deduct those 50 units from the units, that is now is the remaining 100, and we will multiply those remaining 100 units with 0.75. I will repeat this again. So as we have given in the condition, if the unit is less than 50, it will be multiplied by this. Very simple. If the units is 100, for the next 100 units, it is 0.75, right? Come back over here. So it simply means if the units will be equal to less than 150, then these two conditions will get considered. Because from those 150 units, first 50 units will be calculated according to this, and the next 100 units will be according to this. So that is why I have written over here, if for first 50 units, write it like this, okay? And now whatsoever will be the units, deduct 50 from that and multiply. So I have deducted those 50 from that. Remaining will be of course 100. So multiply that by 0.75. Hope you have understood that. Now the next condition we have written over here. Now for the next 100 units we have 1.20. So it definitely means that 50 plus 100 plus 100 means 250, right? So if number of units is less than 250, then we will consider the situation like this. That is, firstly, for the first 50 units, I will multiply it with 0.50, right? For the next 100, it means I have to minus for the next 100 unit, okay? So I will say next 100 units will be multiplied with 0.75, right? Next, again, now I don't know how many are remaining, but I will write over here units minus 150, okay? What is 150? This 100 and this 50, that is 150. I have calculated them separately, so I will deduct that 150 from the total number of units, and whatsoever will be that, I will just multiply it with 1.20, right? Now the last condition, if none of the above condition is being satisfied, then we have this condition for 250. So how am I going to write that? I will write it as if units is greater than 250, or we can also say it like if, else if, and finally else. So I will calculate the bill as, for the first 50 units, I will multiply it with 0.50, correct? Plus, for the next 100 units, I will multiply it with 0.75, plus for the next 100 units, I will multiply it with 1.20. Now, deduct these 250 from the total number of units and multiply the remaining with 1.50. So this is how we are going to write all of our conditions. Hope you guys have understood this concept. Now, after calculating the total bill, we have, as we have discussed, the total bill, there is also the surcharge, right? There is also the surcharge. Now, how we are going to calculate the surcharge? To calculate the surcharge, we know it is the 20% of the bill, right? So I will just take a new variable, total bill. 20% means 1.2, right? And whose is of that 20% of the bill. So I will calculate and I will get my total bill over here, and I will display it. Okay. Hope you guys have got the logic of this electricity concept. Let us now move on to the coding section. So over here, I will be taking some units. So I will be taking a variable as units is equal to 350. After that, I will be using the condition as we have mentioned. That is, if units is less than 50, we will be calculating, I'll be taking a variable over here, bill. I will be calculating the bill as units into 0.50. After that, else if for the next 100 units, I'll be taking it as if units is less than 150, then bill will be equal to 50 into 0.50 plus units minus 50, that is for the remaining 100 units, into 0.75. Correct? Now, for the next 100 units, I'll be taking the condition as else if units is less than 250, I'll be taking the bill will be calculated as, for the first 50 units, I'll be calculating them with 0.50. For the next 100 units, I'll be calculating them with 0.75. And now I'll be calculating the next 100, whatsoever it will be. So units minus 150 into 1.20. Coming back to the last condition, that is if it is above 250, I'll be not taking the condition over here. I'll be just putting it into the else part because that is the last statement for us to execute. So it will be 50 into 0.50 plus 100 into 0.75 plus 100 into 1.20 plus units minus 250 into 1.50. This is how we will calculate the total number of the bill. Now, the total bill, that is by adding the surcharge as well. So I will be taking the variable over here, total bill. So that will be equal to what? Total bill will be equal to 1.2 because it is 20%. 20% of the what? 20% of the bill. And this is how we will calculate the total bill of this electric units. Let me just print over here the bill as well so that we will get to know about like how much has been the surcharge added to it. So this is our total bill and this is our bill and this is our total bill by adding the surcharge as well. Okay, let me just take some of the another examples as well. Say if input is equal to 30, then our output should be, total output should be 18. Okay, now I will just discard the statement because this is not what we have to display. Okay, then our output should be 18. So if our input is 130, our output should be 102. If our input is 230, then our output should be 235. Okay, so this is all the statements I have executed. This is how to calculate the total bill. Hope you guys had understood. Thank you very much.